we're starting the show.
No, it's not how we start. Welcome back to the 128 KB podcast. Woo. We are back once again due to lack of popular demand. Your weekly dose of us rabbiting on about gaming.
Yeah, and we haven't missed a week in ages now, have we?
No, we've actually been on a run. What's this? 3 weeks in a row now?
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Check us out. Consistency.
We are good.
This week, I want to do something a little bit different, Andy.
I like it.
Yeah. I want to, as we're approaching Christmas, it's that time of year where you're looking to drop a load of money on your loved ones.
Or yourself. Yeah.
Mainly you want to buy stuff for yourself.
Yes.
And we now have first-hand experience of everything that's on offer in the gaming space. The major kind of areas.
Yeah, pretty much.
The factions, if we're talking about Starfield. Yeah, I got it in there straight away.
I do need to drop some Starfield info soon. But
for those of you that don't know, we've been deep into Starfield, and it's literally all I can think about or do is talk about Starfield.
That's all you've been talking about all morning. We were having a cup of coffee earlier, and we was, I was waiting to see when it would drop.
Yeah.
And AJ went, "So Andy, I like Starfield."
Andy, I need to talk about Starfield.
Well, it started before that, and I'll just say it now. So I was in a traffic jam for an hour waiting to come here. And I messaged AJ saying, I might be a bit late.
This is like at 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah, because I'm like, not quite, but almost 100 miles away.
Yeah.
And so I was like, right, I'm going to be a bit late. And because I was sat there in complete standstill, I wasn't on my phone whilst driving. The car was in park. I said, well, now we're here, let's talk about Starfield.
Let's get out of the way.
Because anyone that's been watching the podcast recently seen me moaning about Starfield, right?
Yes.
And the input delay on the Xbox Series X. And I blamed it on the wireless protocol.
Yeah.
Because that's what I thought it was. It wasn't that. It was Dolby Vision. So on the Xbox, when you plug it into your TV, it tells you everything it's capable of doing. 4K, HDR, Dolby Vision, whether it can do VRR and all that stuff. Mine said, this is everything it can do. We've enabled it all or whatever. And I went, yeah, sweet, nice. I'm playing Starfield, not playing it because the aiming was atrocious. It was like half a second delay. I was getting so upset. I was almost going to put the Xbox away. I nearly said 360. We're not 20 years ago. I nearly put that away and then started playing it on PC instead.
Yeah.
But luckily I persisted when I realized that Dolby Vision, it says when you've got it enabled that it will increase input delay. But when it's disabled, they don't tell you that.
So it was hidden.
It was hidden. And I turned it off. Instant relief. So if anyone's got an input delay problem coming from PC and then playing it on Xbox and you're like, why does this suck?
Yeah.
Check that setting is not auto-enabled in the actual Xbox's system settings, because mine was, and that is just terrible. So just turn it off.
I think I escaped that because I had the HDR problems right at the start.
Yeah.
On my, literally the second time I picked it up, I had HDR issues. It just washed all the color out to literally just pink.
I remember you saying.
I was like, this is so weird. So I went through and I mashed everything off.
Yeah.
So I think maybe I luckily escaped the nonsense.
I'm just glad that I figured it out because I played last night for 2 hours. It was like a different game. I almost cried with joy that I didn't have to strafe. Because before I just had a shotgun and I just strafed left and right, and it was the same.
Was it
for
like
trying
playing
to pick
Doom?
It was, yeah, but worse. But anyway, now it's great. On with the show.
Yes, and if you're curious, I'm probably still streaming it over on 128KB News.
Oh, of course he is.
Most nights you can join me in my, as I say, I'm starfielding my way through the galaxy.
Yes.
But yes, back to the point. Starfield's great. No, that's not the point. We've now firsthand experienced the key factions of gaming. So I wanted to pose a question to you, Andy.
Yes.
I'm giving you a £500 budget.
Oh, thank you. That's really kind.
I know. But you're only allowed to buy one thing, okay?
Okay.
So what gaming console would you choose as your only gaming system?
And we're talking not retro consoles.
Not retro consoles, no.
The current
gen
stuff.
So it's a Christmas present for yourself.
Oh, yes.
Happy Christmas. You don't have any gaming setup at all.
Yeah, you got nothing. You're starting from scratch.
Nothing at all. £500, you're only allowed to buy one thing. Yep. What is it?
Oh,
let's debate it.
That's such a tough choice because
I know.
£500 is enough to get you anything on the market currently.
Yes.
excluding like some high-end handheld PCs.
Yeah, you're not going to get the ROG Ally.
No. But you could build a budget PC for that price. But we're not talking about that. We're talking Xbox.
No. And you would struggle £500.
I'd do it.
You would do it.
I would do it.
Challenge accepted.
Yes.
Give me your money.
No, you could now, but it would be budget.
Yeah.
You're not talking like 4K gaming or anything like that. You could build a 1080p machine that could run modern games at 30, 60 FPS.
Okay,
£500.
You have quite a good experience.
I could do that. Yeah, no, I definitely think that's possible, but that's not including peripherals and stuff. So ignore all that. We're talking Xbox.
Yep.
PlayStation.
Yes.
Switch.
Yes.
And Steam Deck.
They are your options.
Because they are broader, that encompasses
and they all
PC
fit under
gaming.
that price as well.
Absolutely. But there's a couple that are really close to the mark, aren't there?
Well, you think Xbox Series X is what, 450? Is
480.
480.
It's the highest price.
Almost like I set this budget on purpose. Steam Deck obviously has options. The middle tier is 450, 460. Yeah, I knew that.
It's 350 for the bottom tier. We're talking Great British pounds here.
Of course. Yeah. But it's probably the same in dollars, roughly.
Yeah, it's similar, yeah. So 350 for the base level Steam Deck.
Yeah.
460 for the mid-tier 256 gig Steam Deck. And 570 for a 512 gigabyte.
That's steep, isn't it?
Yeah.
Considering you can just buy your own storage on the keyboard.
Yeah.
What? Okay, so there's the PlayStation 5, which you can now readily get hold of. Hooray for PlayStation.
Absolutely.
The disc version and all that, none of this discless nonsense.
Yeah.
None of the Series S discless nonsense.
So how much is the PlayStation 5 now? Because it used to be 450.
Yes.
And now it's been going down to the kind of
400 mark.
£400. Right.
Great value.
That's really good. Do you know what the digital only PlayStation costs? Because it is cheaper, isn't it?
Not a lot cheaper though.
No.
Not like Series S to Series X.
Yeah.
Because the performance is the same.
Yeah, it's the same console. It just has no disc.
Obviously, the Xbox difference is a difference in performance.
Absolutely, yeah. So, okay, I'm not too sure on the PS5 discless, so let's just stick with the disc version.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you've got the Series S. I nearly said X.
Yeah, Series S, which for this debate, we're going to exclude.
Okay, we're going to keep that out of it. Okay, okay.
If you could only buy... If you've got the money to buy, and it's not your money, you've just got to spend it.
Yep.
You'd buy the Series X.
Yeah. Fair enough. Okay, so we're just keeping it sort of like.
And then the Switch OLED, because
absolutely,
there's no point buying a light if you can buy the OLED.
Yeah. Well, no, because if we're talking like proper games consoles, we need something that can play on the telly as well.
Exactly.
So screw the light, screw the V1
so
Switch.
The OLED is what? 300.
Yeah. Well, it might actually be slightly less now, but it used to be 320. I would say it's at 300 now.
Okay.
And that is just,
So my gut instinct straight away is to say the problem with the Nintendo option, if this was real life, is that it's coming up to 7 years old.
Yes.
We know that it's going to be replaced very soon, although it's not been officially announced.
Yeah, absolutely.
We know the hardware in it is coming up to 9 years old.
Absolutely. 2015 APU.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
It's insane.
If we could pretend for a second that that's not the case.
Okay.
It's not about necessarily value. It's just about the gaming experience.
Yeah. So no one knows that there's a Switch 2 right around the corner. It's just what it is right now. Because even if there is the Switch 2 around the corner, there's still the chance it could be 700 quid. Not that it will be, but nobody knows the price. And of course, right now, we've got the Switch with an insane library.
And we don't know.
An incredible library.
They may not announce the Switch 2.
Yeah, they might not.
It might be 2 years' time.
Exactly. We all expect it next year, but it might actually be 2025. Yeah. Who knows?
So let's pretend, for argument's sake, that that's not happening and that the Switch is actually a viable option at the moment.
Absolutely. Oh, man, it's so tough.
It's great value. And like you say, huge library of games.
Yeah.
Access to games that, barring something I guess we're going to talk about later, which is a bit of kind of digging around under the hood, that you can only play on the Switch.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah.
And that's important.
It is because,
exclusive titles.
And Nintendo have some excellent titles. They really
straight off the bat. Dread.
Yeah. Well, Metroid. Dread. Yeah. Absolutely.
Prime Remaster. This is pretty fucking epic.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It is amazing. I mean, you've got all Mario Kart. Like, there's so many like family party games.
So many hours I've spent in Mario Kart.
Absolutely.
And I still love it.
Yeah. You've got the Mario games. Mario Odyssey is amazing. You've got all the new ones. You've got Wonder.
Is it coming? That looks amazing.
We've got Mario RPG. Like they're all the Mario titles basically. Luigi's Mansion's incredible. There is so many good Switch games. I mean, that's why I love Switch.
Yeah.
So as someone with, that focuses on a Nintendo Switch channel.
And with the Switch, the plus points, let's give a shout out. We give it a lot of stick, but Nintendo Switch Online, for an online service,
yeah,
it's probably the second best in the list.
Yes, yeah.
Maybe third best.
Yeah, maybe.
I just thought about the Steam library.
Yeah.
But for retro gaming's backwards compatibility, it's offering something that PlayStation can't even figure out properly yet.
No.
You've got the SNES games, the NES games, you've got Game Boy games, N64 games, Mega Drive games.
Yes, yeah.
Game Gear games?
No, I might be wrong there. No, I was thinking of Mega Drive.
And although they're slow at doing rollouts, they do keep announcing new things.
Yeah, Game Boy Advance.
And they announce peripheral hardware with it,
Absolutely.
which are cool if you're into gaming. Like
Oh yeah, look. Oh yeah. Yeah,
like the N64 wireless controller. That's cool if you're into gaming.
Yeah.
It's a modern version of it. And it means I can play GoldenEye on my Switch.
Yeah.
Which is one of my favourite games of all time.
Yeah. It was.
It's also behind me, actually.
It was until it came out on Nintendo Switch Online.
Yeah, I mean, it's best in my memory, which is the problem with retro games. They're usually better in your memory than they are.
Yes.
But that's a great service, and there's a huge benefit towards the Switch.
And also, the service is a lot cheaper than all the others.
Yeah.
You know, you're talking, I think it's like 30 quid a year for the expanded version.
Yeah.
Rather than base level Nintendo Switch Online, you've got the expansion pack, which then includes all these extra games. And it's about 30 quid a year, I think.
I want to give a shout out to the hybrid handheld TV experience. The OLED screen is gorgeous.
It is insane.
Even it's a 720 display, isn't it? Still?
Yeah.
Even for that, it looks beautiful.
Yeah.
And the ability to play it on your TV is so cool. It's so ahead of its time. That kind of being able to switch between,
switching it up.
That if you're someone that wants the best of both worlds, it's probably the best option.
Oh, absolutely. For me, that is why I love Switch so much. Is that one thing, the hybrid nature. I don't need two Nintendo consoles anymore with two different game libraries. I don't have like Game Boys or DSs and then a home console. One system. And the beauty of it is you can literally just slide it out of the dock mid-game and it will just continue playing. It's not like you need to turn it off, dock it, turn it on. Do you know what I mean? Like you can just go, done, and it's there. And the same vice versa. You know, you can be playing handheld, come off the bus or something, just go straight in the dock on the telly. Like it's amazing.
Or it's in standby mode and you pick up and it's ready to go.
Yeah.
They've done a lot really cool that, considering how old it is now.
Yes, I still have a lot of love for it.
I still have a lot of love for it as well. I really do. And I think the reason I brought it up first in this kind of discussion is it, in truth, is the outlier. It's the oldest.
Yeah.
We're trying to disregard that, but you can't really ignore it.
What we're going to do here, guys, is disregard this one. Actually, no, we're not.
It's the oldest. It's in an ecosystem all of its own.
Yes.
With regards to the IPs that are available.
But on that front, though, just to interject, remember what you're saying. The Switch, I'm so proud of, and this is what I wanted when they first announced it, was how much third-party support it's got.
Yeah.
Because when it got announced with Skyrim, that then went, I need to buy Skyrim again just to support the fact that third-party companies can start bringing games over, because before it was just like Nintendo games.
Nintendo was a closed shop, wasn't it?
Whereas now the Switch has seen amazing ports. I mean, we're getting freaking Batman Arkham Collection.
I mean, like, one day, eventually, you'll get Hogwarts Legacy. Probably about 5 years' time.
At 5 FPS.
What's happened with that?
I've no
Another
idea.
discussion.
Yes, but you know, you have to give them credit there that it's not just Nintendo games now. There's some really good games that are multi-platform that are, slightly like, you know, worse off on Switch, but are still playable. And again, that feeds into that completely portable nature.
Some games are better on Switch than they are on platforms.
Yeah.
I want to give a shout out to Hot Wheels.
Hot Wheels is amazing.
On the Switch.
Yeah, it's so good.
On the PlayStation, which I believe I bought it on PlayStation as well.
Yeah.
It's just not the same experience.
Really? I've not played it on anything but the Switch.
It looks good, but it feels like a Switch game.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's almost like it was made for Switch, isn't it? Because of that nice, like, the cartooniness
vibrancy.
Of it. Yeah.
Slightly playful, more about the gameplay fun than anything else.
Yeah. Very good.
Okay. So why I wanted to say that the Switch was an outlier is because there's like, in my mind, actually, there's only 3 options.
Okay. Wow.
You got the Switch.
Yeah.
Then you've got 2 consoles in the middle and then another handheld separately.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So we need to duke it out.
Okay. Yeah.
To decide between Xbox
Yeah.
and PlayStation.
Oh, what to go up? Yeah. Okay.
To then go up against Steam Deck and the Switch.
Yes. Yeah. No, I like that. Yeah.
Because you can't compare the Steam Deck with the PlayStation.
No.
They don't really make sense.
It's not the same thing. Yeah. No, I get you. So who's going on to the next round? Xbox or PlayStation? Where are we starting? PlayStation, I reckon.
Let's start with the PlayStation. I love, as everyone, long-time viewers and listeners will know, I am a PlayStation diehard fan.
Oh, yeah.
I have been since the earliest days of the dark mid-90s.
Yeah.
When I got the PlayStation 1 as a kid. I've always had PlayStation, apart from a brief spell of Xbox 360 when they set fire to everything. But I can't help but express my frustration at this generation of PlayStation.
Yeah.
I feel really let down.
Sentences, like words there. That's really.
I don't even know what I said.
I can't stress something of this generation of
my frustration.
Your frustration of this generation of PlayStation.
I'm a poet and I don't know it.
That's it. Yeah. Sorry, continue.
The PlayStation 5. Firstly, I had the hardest time getting hold of it.
Yeah.
The hardest time.
Did.
It took me a year to get
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure I had mine for a year
you
before
did,
you got yours.
12 months. To the point where I wasn't going to bother and I was just going to get a PS4 Pro.
Yeah.
And after I got the PS5, I now wish I just got a PS4 Pro. Because what's the point?
All the
That's
games
my
are on
frustration.
PS4.
They're all on PS4. Yeah. I get a marginally better gameplay experience. Yeah. I have to download an upgraded version anyway that's like 100 gig or something stupid. What's the point?
Yeah.
Why did I spend £450, whatever it was? I can't even remember now. Why have I had to spend, is it £60 for a controller?
Yeah. Or 210 if you want the other one.
The controller's battery life is about 20 minutes. I have to look at. I turn it on. Battery needs recharging. God's sake. So I've constantly got 2 controllers that I'm rotating.
Yeah, it's crap.
That's a retarded way of living.
It is crap. Like when you think we've gone from the very first ever consoles that controllers that were wireless, that would have like 40 hours battery life. And now we're like meant to be this super advanced, like, and we get like 3 hours battery
3
life.
hours.
What is that? Like, what is that?
And it's never like you pick it up, it's fully charged, let's play. That's quite a rare experience.
Yeah.
Unless you're really organised. So because it's only a 3 to 4 hour battery life, it will happen always in the middle of your session, which means your controller's always like half charged.
Yep.
And the other one's like half charged.
Yeah.
So it's like this constant, battery's about to run out, better change it.
Rotate. Yeah.
It's just frustrating. The other obviously frustrating thing is I don't understand what they're doing with their games. What's the reasoning for me to buy one? Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
If that's what we're pinning it on, this generation.
Yeah. That's meant to be like the biggest hit this year, isn't it? Like that's what they're banking on for Christmas.
And I'm not talking PlayStation exclusives. I'm talking PlayStation 5 exclusives.
Yes.
Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
We had Ratchet and Clank.
Which is really good. Like, you need to play that.
Yeah. No, I get it. It's a platform game, though.
Yeah. That's amazing.
It's not enough to pin a whole generation of games consoles
I wouldn't buy
And what was the sellable feature? That they basically hid the loading zones in kind of temporal rifts.
Yes.
So you didn't notice the split second it took to load the next zone.
Yeah.
That's kind of it, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. If we take a step... That wasn't a PlayStation 5 exclusive, though, was it? That was on PS4 as well.
Was it? Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, maybe.
Now you've put me in a corner of doubting myself. But is that all we've got? We were trying to go through the list of PlayStation exclusives earlier.
Yeah.
We're planning a different video. And like, even then, it's surprising. You've got things like the Final Fantasy series that are time limited.
Yes.
They do eventually come out elsewhere.
Yeah.
I know I'll bang on about it till the rest of time, but when 7 Rebirth comes out, that'll be on PlayStation 5 time limited exclusive.
Yes.
16 is.
Yep.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, so they're not like exclusive PlayStation games, are they? Because eventually they will not be.
I guess my real exasperation for the PlayStation,
yes,
is my frustration
for the nation.
Yeah, that most of the games coming out are on PS5 and PS4.
Yeah.
So my long frustrated wait and my huge expense to buy this console feels totally wasted.
Well, it feels like you've been kicked in the shins, doesn't it? Because the whole point, every generation, and this is just the way it's been through gaming history, is you want to play this cool new game, you need to play it on the new system. You can't play it on the old system. And now it feels like, well, you're not being like rewarded for being in this exclusive fan club of look, I've got your new system.
I think they did it because it was really hard to get the PS5 for a long time.
Yeah.
But we're now halfway through it.
Yeah.
If they stick to their 7-year cycles.
Yeah.
We're about 3 to 4 years, coming up to 4 years into it, aren't we?
Yeah.
Crazily, somehow.
It's mad, isn't it?
So we're at this halfway point. At some point, there does need to be an acceptance. Most people have got it if they're going to get it.
Yeah.
And if not, they need to get it if they want this
Yeah.
game. But no, we're still holding on to the bigger player base of the PS4, which tells you a bigger problem.
Yes, absolutely.
And then the online service, the other kind of big thing. I just don't know what their direction is. The hardware that they're releasing doesn't support the online service that they've got in the way that it should. I'm thinking about PlayStation Portable, or whatever it's called, Portal.
You mean the PSP?
PSP Mark II.
Yeah.
PSP 3?
Maybe.
Because there was a PSP 2, wasn't it? The Go, whatever it was called, the one with the weird joysticks.
Oh, the Vita?
Was that a Vita, was it?
So
I get confused.
You had the PSP. Yeah. Then you had the PSP Go.
Yeah.
But then you had the Vita.
Yeah, it's a PSP Go, the slide down.
Oh, the slide up and down thing. Yeah.
So the hardware doesn't marry up to the online service. The hardware is actually making them more like this weird kind of Apple competitor where everything's really closed systems.
And it's really
very expensive.
Yeah.
£200 for the Pro controller.
More than that. It's $210 or something, or 15.
Some not Bluetooth headsets that use a PlayStation proprietary wireless signal that are lossless somehow, which obviously isn't true. You've got the PS VR 2.
So that's like 500 quid,
which is more than the console.
Yeah. And it's probably
that no one's going to buy.
What games has that got?
I don't know. And to be honest, who cares? I'm not in an arcade. I'm not going to strap this on in my lounge and start taking out my grandma.
I don't know. It'd be
flailing around.
It'd be quite fun to watch on stream.
It's very confused. It's become very like they're trying to make themselves exclusive, but without anything to back it up.
Well, it's stupid because they've just hiked the prices of their online service, right?
Yes.
So the PS Plus, whatever it is now later, is now, they've just increased the price.
I cancelled my subscription.
I've stopped mine from renewing.
Yeah, same.
So it's they've increased the price with no benefit. It's not like they've said, "Oh, here's this.
Here's to soften the blow." You get better.
Or even some brand new thing that's amazing, and this is why it's up. No. It's just it's more expensive. You get the same old crap, right? Oh, and by the way, here's a PSP that can't utilize it.
Yeah.
So hang on, what? So you've got this live service that you're trying to build, but you're not giving anything more. You're making it more expensive, and then this whole new peripheral about handheld gameplay can't even stream or download games from it. It must be played on your PlayStation, and it only works with games you've got installed.
It doesn't make sense.
You can't stream a game on your PlayStation using PlayStation Plus and then fire it to the PSP. It doesn't work like that. Stupid.
Excuse me. It feels like they've developed these things in total isolation to each other.
Yeah, it was like different development teams.
We've got an online service, they develop that. And then we go, we want a portable thing. Okay, we'll develop that in isolation. But, I mean, that's a very simplistic way of looking at it. But it doesn't make sense that you'd have a portable console peripheral
that's not
able to stream from that online service that you're already subscribed to.
Yes, absolutely.
Anyway, so I guess my problem with the PlayStation is I don't know why you would buy it now.
Yeah. It seems very confused. Like the whole ecosystem doesn't, like you said, it just doesn't marry up. Like everything feels disjointed, as if it is like every team's in a separate room, locked away from each other, and once a month they ring up and go, "Hey Dave, what are you working on?"
Make no, yeah,
like some PSP thing.
Cool.
Oh, great, that worked with our PS Now. Oh no, we didn't implement that. We didn't know you had PS Now.
Oh, we've introduced retro games from the PlayStation back catalog.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, all your favourite ones aren't on there.
Oh,
just kind of ones that we could afford to license. Oh, okay, because there's some really great games from the past. Yeah, we've not got them.
No, you don't need those. You need these ones.
Yeah, and what that'll do is no one will play them, prove that the service is a failure, and then we can cancel it and say, we tried backwards compatibility, it didn't work.
Yeah, and we're going to increase the price.
The other thing I don't understand with PlayStation, I'm spending way too long talking about PlayStation.
This can be a long episode.
Yeah, it's fine. The other thing I don't understand with PlayStation is they had PlayStation Now for about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Which was a separate subscription service that gave you access to cloud games or to download them. Sounds a lot like Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah.
From a selection of games of all time in the PlayStation library. 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
And you can stream them off the server or you can download them. And it was, I'll get this right, I'm pretty sure it's £5 a month when they launched it.
Really?
It was either 5 or 10.
Wow. But either way, that's...
It was. I remember it being so
valuable.
cheap that I couldn't ignore it. I was like, well, I'll do that for a couple of months. It was less than I was paying for Netflix. I remember that.
Insane.
And I thought, they've nailed it. This is the future of PlayStation.
Yeah.
A combination of physical games and an online service where I can stream. And I remember at the time, I hadn't ever played PUBG.
Yeah.
I was like, I wonder what it's actually like. I've seen loads of people play it. I've never bothered myself because I don't really like battle royales.
Yeah.
So I streamed it. I was like, it was fun for 5 minutes. I don't want to download it. Cool. And then I was like, what's in the PS3 catalog? I was like, I remember this PS3 game. I'll stream it. So I streamed that for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, I really loved this PS3 game now. I'll download it.
Yeah.
It was like, this is the perfect platform.
Yes, absolutely.
They switched it off.
Yep.
But they said they're bringing a new subscription service in, their new PlayStation Network service, and it will have old games. It'll have the old games library and all this.
Nah.
It's not part of the PlayStation subscription. It's an addition and a very expensive one.
It's insane the price that goes to.
Yeah.
Like I can't actually get over that. Like how much it physically costs to even enter that.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Just pointless to my mind. So it kind of answers the question, Xbox or PlayStation, even without talking about the Xbox.
Yeah.
Series X we're talking about, I suppose. So
yes.
There's the price gap.
Yeah.
PlayStation is cheaper.
It is now. Yeah. So PlayStation, if we pretend it's 400 quid versus 480 for an X.
How long till Xbox drop the price, do you think?
Or
do you think they're going to be happy to keep it as is?
I think they'll keep it as it is.
In those leaked emails that came with the Activision court case, the merger thing.
Yep.
Beyond the, I've forgotten his name, Phil Spencer, is it?
Yep.
Beyond his kind of megalomaniac talking about buying Nintendo, he spoke with pride about how the last generation, they knew they didn't have it.
Yeah.
The Xbox wasn't it. It wasn't as good as PlayStation's offering, and that they knew that they were behind and always playing catch up.
Yeah.
When they released the Series X, they knew that they had it.
Yes.
And they're confident that they have a superior offering.
Yes. Yeah.
And all they need to do is just to keep enhancing games and offerings for it. And that they will have a stronger offering going forward. Having now experienced it firsthand, I can't deny that their offering is better.
And it's crazy how and I think this is why they're not as big as they should be, is people were so in the dark about it. Yeah. Everyone just goes, oh, that's Xbox. Do you know what I mean? Like, and they just
alternative.
They just instantly go, yeah, well, that's Xbox. And until you actually, like we have, like dived in, explored it, and seen how much greener the grass is on the other side.
That's a good Xbox pun as well, because it is green.
Hey, there you go. But really, like, until you go there, you don't know how good it is. Like, there's so many things about the Xbox that really made me go, this is just superior.
Backwards compatibility.
Like true backwards compatibility.
If you've got any generation Xbox game, 99% of them.
Most of them will work, yeah.
You pop them in, you'll download a upscaled current res version of the game.
Yep, that looks great.
Amazing.
Controls feel brilliant, everything.
Yeah. A really affordable online offering.
Insane. Like an insane, like,
It's their live service.
Their live service, Games Pass, as I like to say. Yeah. So, and you've got now Xbox Live Gold has disappeared now. Everything's now, and I really appreciate that move.
Yeah.
Like, I did the video on 128KB News channel about that, like what is Game Pass Core, which is replacing Gold. And so now it's all under the brand Game Pass, which just makes sense, So there's different tiers of it, which starts really cheap just to get you online, gives you some games to play. So you get like 30 games.
Yeah.
I can't even remember how much it is. It's like £6 a month or something, or less. Really, really cheap entry point. You get some cracking games. They've cherry picked some top games there. Then you've got the next one up, which is like console only.
Yeah.
So, you get 500 games basically at your fingertips, there. Then the next one up is Ultimate, which gives you all of that and all of it again on PC with cross saves between both. So
that's a mental offering. I know we're framing it as if you could only have one gaming experience.
Yeah,
but for those of you that have PC, just subscribing to the Xbox Game Pass.
Oh, it's insane.
You've basically now got an Xbox in your PC.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's insane.
Yep.
For me, I went for the middle tier because I've only got an Xbox.
Yes.
So it doesn't make sense to have the PC.
Yeah.
And it was purely to play the current AAA exclusive title in my subscription.
And what game's that?
It was called Starfield. I don't know if I've mentioned it. I just want, for a second, you to really appreciate what that is. If I already had the Xbox, if I didn't buy it for this.
Yeah.
And I already had this subscription.
Yeah.
Let's say it's the PlayStation, okay? I've got PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
I've already got my PlayStation subscription, whatever it's called. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth gets launched, and I get to play it for free in my subscription.
Day one.
And
you get to preload it like 4 days before.
So I had already downloaded it.
Exactly.
So I could just switch it on and play.
Just turn on that morning. I'm playing. Imagine that.
Just let that sink in for it. Say it's the Spider-Man game. Make it a wider kind of reach.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2, day one, as part of your PlayStation subscription, you can play it.
Yeah.
Wow. How many people are going to sign up now?
Everyone.
Everyone that wants to buy it would sign up now. Yeah. Unless you're a diehard, a collector, you want the collector's edition, you want early access, or you just want the physical copy. If not, if you just want to play it, which was where my head was at.
Yeah.
There you go, day one.
Insane, isn't it? Yeah.
It's insane. And then that was my reason to subscribe. So then I start digging through and adding to my wish list, as it were. And I added like 60 games to my wish list.
Yeah.
Like, I want to play that. I want to play that.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember this one. I'll play that again. Like, there's going to be too many. I'm not going to play all of these. There's too many.
And again, you can just stream them immediately just to test them out. And then if you go, it didn't resonate with me, that's fine. You didn't waste hours of your life downloading it. But if you did like it and you want to play native, then you can hit download.
So the final part of PlayStation versus Xbox, only you can answer.
Oh.
Because you've got Series X and a PS5, where I've got Series S.
Yeah.
Now, I've got a noticeable performance difference.
Yes.
S to PS5.
Yeah.
There's areas I'm getting in like huge frame dips in certain areas. There's clearly parts that are lower res renders than they should be.
Yeah.
I'm willing to forgive that for the accessibility that I've got. How easy it was to play this.
Yeah, and the S's price point.
I got it for half the price.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a really good offering,
and it takes up less space than this mixing desk. It's
absolutely,
tiny.
Yeah, it's a tiny
compared to my PS5, which is. I don't know if I could fit it in the boot of my car.
It's the size of this table. This is actually the PS5 that we're not using anymore.
We're sat around the PS5.
It. Yeah.
Whenever I get the PS5, I'm like, I'm always surprised how big it is. It's ridiculous.
It is insane.
And they've made it really angular and bigger than it should be as well.
Yes.
So anyway, besides the point, the Series X is quite big. Not as big as a PS5.
Yes. Yeah.
Performance side by side.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well,
5 or X?
Well, the X, like on paper, for raw compute power, I think is almost 20% more powerful than the PS5. So,
and in real life, what's your hands-on experience?
It's difficult because I haven't played like the same game across both, and even then, it could just be that the way it's been ported or whatever, rather than like a horsepower issue. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not just been like fine-tuned enough, but I mean it's comparable, like for sure. But I don't know. I feel like the X definitely has more grunt whilst being quieter. You know,
it's a huge one
because the PS5 is so loud.
I never hear the Xbox.
I've never heard the X.
I've got no disc drive, so that's a huge advantage straight away.
Yep.
But it is running a really demanding game. Yeah. And I'm playing for like 3-4 hours at a time.
Yeah. You're pushing it.
It's getting hot. I can feel the heat.
Yeah.
When I finish playing, I don't hear the fan. I'm not wearing headphones. I'm just playing as is. Never hear the fan. It doesn't ever spin up or anything. It's silent. And whereas the PlayStation. Sounds like a tractor when I'm playing. It
sounds like it's going to take off.
Yeah.
You know, it really, really does. Like, and the Xbox Series X, even with a disc in it, I don't hear anything. And after like 5-6 hour game sesh, don't hear a thing. I don't hear the fans kick up to cool it down. The PlayStation, I swear, every 20 minutes it's doing something.
It always seems to
for no reason as well. It's just like
I have to stress at this point that it kind of hurts for me.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't platform agnostic.
No.
I was and am a diehard PlayStation fan.
Yeah.
It really hurts that it's, by comparison, so pale, the PlayStation.
Yeah. It's white. Yeah.
Literally. I find it hard to admit and even harder to express it in this kind of like in public.
Yeah.
But I think they've just got it wrong.
Yeah, I definitely think like now that we've properly experienced both, the Series X just wins for me. And it's difficult because, you know, I know we're taking this stance that we've never had one and which one would we buy. But obviously having both is great because then I can say, well, I can play PS5 exclusives if I want to, if they ever make any. But do you know what I mean? Like I can do either.
Yeah.
But I would say if I got out of PlayStation and Xbox taken away from me now, I'd probably just get an Xbox.
Yeah, I would.
Even paying the extra for the Series X, I would still pay more and get the Series X.
The stupid things that annoyed me before, like Red Dead Redemption re-release, the first one.
I know.
So what was it, a £40 release on PS4?
Yeah, PS4.
With
not
PS5
even
compatibility.
not even on PS5. Like that. How much more of a kick in the teeth is that? So here it is at £40.
Yeah,
and it's not even on the current
for
gen.
the last generation. But yeah, if I wanted the same backwards compatibility on the Series X, I'd just have to go either through my games collection or to the local charity shop and buy Red Dead Redemption for 20p.
Yeah.
Stick it in my Xbox and I'm playing it.
It would download the high-res 4K version for free.
You can even buy it off there.
Yeah, for £20. It's like half the price. And it's actually upscaled, you know,
So
yeah.
Yeah, it's stupid stuff like that start to really frustrate me. I don't feel like PlayStation are thinking about the players at all in their decisions. They're definitely not making joined up decisions.
No.
Whereas Xbox, Sony, Microsoft are confident enough with what they've made with the Xbox as a piece of hardware that all their decision making is about the players' offerings now.
Yeah, absolutely. And even seeing all those leaks and stuff just reaffirms their direction, that they are solid in their thought process and decision of where they're going.
Yeah.
We know where they're going to be aiming for now over the next few years. Even if those documents are slightly wrong, they're still going to be on the same path somehow.
Yeah.
PlayStation, I feel like they're skipping around all over the joint as if they're like, hang on, what should we be doing? Should we go over here? Hang on, no, I'll backtrack, go over there. Do you know what I mean? It's a little bit all over the place. And the other thing I keep banging on about it because I love it is that quick resume on the Xbox is so good.
Ridiculous.
For people that have time restraints, like people with kids, whatever it might be. It sounds stupid, but being able to just press your controller button, the Xbox button on the controller, and literally have the thing boot into the game ready to play within seconds
of where you were.
Exactly where you were. No loading, no booting, nothing. It's just on, done. That is a massive time save.
For those of you coming from, I don't know, Nintendo or PlayStation land, it is essentially, it pauses the game in a standby mode. It's essentially how I'm considering it's happening.
It takes like a snapshot of the game.
Yeah, so when
weird.
you switch your console back on after turning it off, it resumes in the paused screen.
Yeah. And it's not just exactly that last game that you did. You can have multiple games open like this.
That's crazy.
So that you can press the button and just switch game immediately. You don't have to waste minutes, which sometimes can drag you on and go, you know what, I can't be bothered now.
Loading screens. I'll listen to the disc spin up.
Whereas it's an invaluable feature.
Yeah.
And then going back to the live service thing, let's say, we're now just comparing, we're still just comparing PlayStation and Xbox, right? If you've got your £500, trying to bring it back on topic, AJ.
I forgot that's what we're talking about.
If you've got your £500, right, and you're looking at the Xbox or the PlayStation, you're thinking Xbox is 80 quid more. We're now £20 left for our budget. Right? PlayStation, 400 quid. We've got £100.
Yeah.
Maybe I could buy some accessories. Well, no, you can't because all the accessories are insane price.
You could buy a spare controller.
Yeah. That's it. And then you're screwed because you ain't got no money left for games. So let's pretend like you're not going down the accessory route. You're just buying the simple system. Okay, 20 quid left on the Xbox for games. You're thinking, nah, that's not doable. You've got £100 for games on PlayStation. Xbox still wins.
Yeah.
Because PlayStation, 70 quid for a game.
Yeah.
You've bought yourself one game and not even a PS4 Red Dead, right? Right? On Xbox, £10 gets you Game Pass and you have 500 games at your disposal. At your disposal? At your disposal.
I know where you're going.
So
that kind of settles where we're at anyway. We've got like an agenda here. So finally...
Hang on, that's Microsoft at the door with our cash just there.
If they could just, they just pay my 10 Gs, just, that's it. Yeah, just leave it there.
Just leave it there.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. I'll take some shares as well. So finally in our topic is the Steam Deck.
The Steam Deck.
This again is a totally different offering. It's why I've separated them.
Yes.
It sits more in line with the Switch versus, which is probably actually a nice thing to frame.
Yeah.
Switch versus the Steam Deck at this point.
Okay, yeah.
And
so
then
we're going
finally
it's Xbox
versus the winner.
I like that. Yeah, I like this. Yeah. Tough one. Very
It is
tough.
for you. It's like, this is like Sophie's choice for you, isn't it?
It's very tough. It really is. And I'm trying to think as like a general population. Like with the Steam Deck, I've always said you should really already have a foot in PC land before you get on this. But it's not necessary. The Steam Deck, because it's based on Linux, and they've made like a console-like experience, you don't need to go in and mess with code and rubbish. Like games will just work. They give you a clear indication whether the game is verified, playable, or unsupported. And whilst there's a few rare occasions where it will say verified and it still is a bit dodgy, the majority of them that are verified, the vast majority, we're talking like 95% or above, actually work. So if you stuck to that pathway and just bought games that are verified, anyone could just go and buy a Steam Deck. It's not this daunting task of like PC where you've got to mess around with drivers. You got to, oh, it doesn't work because my graphics card is like 2 years out of date and my driver's right. There's none of that. You just update your system through the update now. There's no messing around, no diagnosing anything. It just works. So on that front, I think it is probably the most accessible way to play PC games for anybody.
For certain.
Like I would be more than happy to give it to someone and say, go on then. Whereas if I give you a PC and hadn't pre-installed all the stuff ready, people would be like, what do I do? You have to teach them. Whereas with this, you don't. You boot it up and it works.
There is, you made a really good point right at the start of that, of you should really have a foot in the door of the PC camp. And I would agree with you, not because of the complications of playing PC games, but more Steam Deck is fantastic if you've got a Steam library of games already.
Absolutely, yeah.
Then you are winning.
Yes, yeah.
If you haven't, so if you're like me and I haven't got a library of Steam games,
yeah.
I'd get a Steam Deck and be sweet. Now, buying games from the Steam store, whatever it's called.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, the Steam store.
Is super cheap most of the time.
Oh, yeah. And
constantly sales.
Yes, massive sales.
It couldn't be simpler. You're just downloading games.
Yeah.
It's a digital store. PC have been so far ahead of console with this for so long.
Because it's been digital only for like 15 years.
Yeah. Do you remember the big cardboard cases PC games?
I still got loads of them.
Yeah, I remember that. Anyway, that's been dead for a long time.
Yes.
It's super simple, but it's still kind of somehow detracts from the appeal of the Steam Deck. I think truthfully it's been made for existing PC gamers.
Yeah.
It's how it feels.
That's kind of how it was originally touted, was like, play your games anywhere. Do you know what I mean? Like, continue being a PC gamer when you're away from your PC.
Yeah.
You know, like, and that's basically how it was like originally marketed. And that's absolutely true. Like me, I bought my Steam Deck and went, oh look, I've got like 200 games already because I've had my Steam account since 2005 or whenever it was, you know. But if you are already a PC player or have been, and you're coming into this, that's amazing, because again, we're most likely going to have a vast library of games already. They're all going to work pretty much, you know. But if you're brand new, this is probably the most accessible way of playing games because they're so cheap. Yeah. They are so cheap compared to console games.
The thing that really turned me on to it, again, we've talked about Xbox's backwards compatibility and making older games look fantastic.
Yes.
When you very first got the Steam Deck, you knew how to make it appeal to me straight away. So you brought it in and you had preloaded Half-Life 2.
Yes.
So you went, check that out.
Yes.
And it was like I had never experienced it before.
It was insane.
It's insane. It's like, I think it was locked in at 60 FPS, wasn't it?
Oh,
solid.
Yeah, easy, yeah.
On that beautiful display.
Yes. And it's got like a 16 by 10 display.
It looks gorgeous.
And I love that. Yeah, it's big, yeah.
And it feels really comfortable. Feels like a really substantial gaming experience.
Way more ergonomic than the Switch. Like
so much better.
Yeah.
The Switch with the standard Joy-Cons is horrible handheld.
It absolutely
once you've experienced grips or
alternatives,
split pads or whatever.
Yeah.
Steam Deck as a handheld gaming experience, I don't think you can beat it.
No,
especially not at that price point.
Not at the price point. Absolutely
unbeatable.
Not. Yeah. It's just fantastic, and pretty much everything runs well.
So I guess when you're talking about it as a comparison to the Switch, the Switch in my mind wins only because of the hybrid functionality is better on it.
Yes, it's better. Yeah, it is better. I mean, obviously the Steam Deck still has hybrid.
Yes.
But it doesn't come with a dock.
No.
So that's be an extra outlay and expense for your £500, which is doable.
And there's no way of naturally controlling it when it is docked without third-party stuff.
Yeah, you'd have to have either a keyboard, mouse, or a controller.
The Switch, you take Joy-Cons off and use them as
Absolutely.
controllers.
You don't need to buy another controller.
You actually have two controllers there.
Yes. Yeah. Already, yeah.
If you're willing to have like little cramp hands.
Yeah, which suck. But
I've played a lot of Mario Kart like that.
Oh, it's horrible.
It's horrible.
I have played too. But yeah, so with the Steam Deck, you would need a dock, extra expense, and you'd need a wireless controller or a wired controller, whatever.
But if you're willing to go through those hurdles, say you bought a base model Steam Deck.
Yes.
Which was what?
$350.
Wow, that's a bargain, isn't it? It's so cheap for what you're getting. You're buying a decent dock. You can get a nice third-party controller.
Oh, easy.
All of these things really nicely.
Yeah.
Like you say, you use a dongle and some other controllers.
Yep.
Now, what is a better hybrid experience? Steam Deck or Switch? And I'm going to give it to you because I know it's going to kill you to make the choice.
I can't make the decision. You know.
Go on, Andy. What did you make a whole channel about on YouTube?
The Switch.
And then what did you start putting on there?
Steam Deck videos.
Steam Deck videos? Is that because you love them both?
Yes.
Now choose one.
Again, it's difficult because I've dabbled in PC stuff so hard. I'm trying to put myself in like a normal person's perspective. And for that, I would say the Switch works better because the Switch was designed to run on the big screen as well. You know, so yeah, okay, it only does 1080p output via HDMI. Does it hit 1080p? No, a lot of the time it doesn't. But there's like variable refresh and stuff which it can do, and it looks good. You know, and
I really like how it looks on the
it's
screens.
always going to work. Every game you buy for the Switch, you know you're going to be able to play it on your TV, and it will look good. I play it on a 4K OLED. It looks great.
Yeah,
you know, and that's like barely 1080p.
Yeah,
you know, whereas a Steam Deck struggles when you start pumping it up to a bigger resolution. So, you know, because on the Steam Deck itself, it's 800p screen.
Yeah.
Right. So you're running it at 800p. So that's how you can run modern games. And this is the thing I see most online is people upset that they can play a modern game really well on their handheld, but then they plug it in the TV and it don't work. And it's like,
you're trying to output it to a massive display now.
And they're not editing the resolution down. So they're playing at 800p on the handheld. The system's automatically detecting 4K screen. Let's run the game at 4K, and they're getting 1 FPS.
The graphics processing is just crying.
Yeah, the Steam Deck just melts like on the floor, you know? And it's like...
But that I guess that's the inherent, I'm going to say flaw.
Yeah.
But not because it is an actual flaw, but it's more... You have to understand a little bit more about computing
and how it works. Yeah.
To get the best out of the Steam Deck in those scenarios.
Yeah.
Which kind of suggests that you come from more of a PC background.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's more specialized.
Whereas a console, which is kind of where we're framing this debate, is someone who doesn't want to know about that stuff, just wants to enjoy gaming.
Absolutely.
Switch on, let me play a
Your
game.
granny could buy a Switch and win at whatever game she's playing.
Yeah.
With the Steam Deck, she's going to have to, you know, do some research.
Can you go into the settings? That's it.
You'll be on
the
the
output
phone.
resolution. Yeah, 1080p. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, with that in mind, the Switch does win. It does. But, you know, with the Steam Deck, the other side is with emulation.
Yeah.
Again, it wins over PlayStation, Xbox, or Switch.
It wins over them all. If you're willing to dig around under the hood.
Absolutely. You can run any games on there, essentially.
I mean, the ultimate advice would be watch Andy's videos on how to increase the storage.
Yes.
Buy the baseline model.
Yes.
Buy some increased storage.
Yes. Get the right SD card.
Watch some tutorials about installing emulation.
Yes.
On there.
Yeah.
And play everyone's games to your heart's content from all time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, I got fed up of waiting for GameCube to come to Switch, or even for them to remaster my favorite GameCube games like Star Fox Adventures. I know everyone hates it, but I love it. Okay, fine. F-Zero GX, Wind Waker, all these games.
F-Zero GX is never coming, Andy. Give up.
I know, but that's what I mean. And that's when I went, you know what? I'm just going to emulate them all on my Steam Deck. And they run beautifully. 60 FPS locked, and you can upscale it with the Steam Deck, so the emulator will 2, 4, 8 times the resolution. So it's crisp. It's like a remaster. And they just play. And you can widescreen mode them. It's got a widescreen hack. It just works. So, you know, the Steam Deck ultimately really should be the winner of all these consoles. But for this conversation, I would say...
It's a different type of gamer that it wins for.
Yeah. But it encompasses everything.
Yeah.
And again, it's such a good system. Like, you can change the sticks out for Hall effect. We've got tutorials on that.
Yes.
You know, how to upgrade the storage, like you said. Everything's changeable.
Customizable plates, backplate.
It's all modular. Everything is designed to be taken apart, and Valve wants you to be able to replace stuff. So if you drop it and you break some random spring in the middle of it or something, you know, you can go and buy that and just do it yourself. You know, it's so
And it's
good.
not too daunting either. I mean, you're an idiot and you did it.
Exactly. It's time consuming, but it's definitely doable. It's very, very consumer friendly.
I remember when it came out, and then when you got one, I remember our conversations, and it was, if you're willing to spend time with a gaming console, learning how things work, it is the perfect choice.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because it's the perfect combination of all of it.
Yes.
Of convenience and of complexity.
Yeah.
Of backwards compatibility and of awesome current generation.
Yeah.
It's the best of both.
Yeah.
Handheld, hybrid. Awesome.
And that's the thing. I've been flicking between playing Ratchet and Clank, right, with PS5 game exclusive.
PS5 exclusive Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, on the Steam Deck, which runs amazingly. And then 2 minutes later, I'm playing a GameCube game. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's so good.
Yeah.
And it's just, and I installed Game Pass on there.
So you've got PlayStation PC on there. They're basically the PS5 exclusives on your Steam Deck.
Yep.
You've got Xbox Games Pass.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you can hack it to emulate anything else.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So I've basically got all the Nintendo, PlayStation, and Xbox games on there, and PC.
It sounds a little bit like you bought one of those Amberneck
things
off AliExpress.
It's easier to do than one of those.
Yeah.
It really is. It very much so. Like, it's so much better.
You are
so I would advocate
Billy
for
Bob.
I'd advocate for the Switch winning that.
Switch wins. So our final decision. I wish I had a drum roll, but I don't. I've just got this. Our final decision in the ultimate shootout of you can only buy one games console. What will it be?
Between Switch and
Xbox Series X.
Yeah, that's mad, isn't it?
What are you choosing?
For your 500 quid. And you got to just like go back to the price, £500. Xbox Series X, so the most powerful one, you know, you're future-proof there for a good long while.
4 or 5 years left on that.
Easy, yeah. And then, okay, you got 20 quid left over. 10 quid for a bag of crisps to eat whilst you're playing some games and a drink.
Just make sure it's not Doritos because it ruins the controller.
Yeah, you don't want Dorito fingers on the controller. Yeah. And actually,
that's aimed at one person in particular.
Yeah. Don't be playing and eating. I'm talking about eat first or after and then play.
Maybe spend £10, £9 on crisps and £1 on some wet wipes to clean your hands with.
Or some like satin gloves or something, you know?
Satin gloves.
Yeah.
Because you really take gaming seriously, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Like driving gloves for your controller.
Yeah. The other night I was out and Christina was like, "Can I use your controller tonight?" I went, "No, you're not using my Starfield controller." When I came home, she was using my Starfield controller.
Divorce. Straight up divorce.
Because hers is synced to the PC and she didn't want to unsync it.
God damn it.
But anyway, so you've got 500 quid.
Yeah.
480 on the console.
Yeah.
10 quid on Game Pass.
Yes.
You got 500 quid, 500 games.
Yes. That's
for 500
pretty amazing.
quid. 500 quid, 500 games.
And the most powerful console of the current generation.
Day one releases for the exclusives.
And you get to play a small game called Starfield.
Yes, one of those. And some other insanely good games. Like that 500 game list, it's not quite 500, but it's like 485 or something.
It's huge.
It's not just filled with crap. Like, it's not just fillers. It's some seriously good games in there. Like, really, there are.
I'm not being hyperbolic when I say I added 60 games to my wish list just straight off the bat.
Yeah.
Just like, I want to play these.
Yeah. So did I. I spent ages going through every one, even ones I'd never heard of, clicking on them, watching the trailer or reading about it, you know, whatever. I spent ages going, you know what, like there's such value in that.
Yeah.
It's insane. It really is. I mean, we've got a whole like video about it, but anyway, that's amazing. On the other side, you got 300 quid for the OLED. You got £200 left. That's pretty good.
Yes.
But Nintendo games are notoriously expensive for Nintendo games. You know, you're looking at about 50 quid each, 70 quid if you're looking at like Zelda, you know, Tears of the Kingdom.
We didn't even mention that when we were talking about the Switch.
Yeah.
Zelda.
Yes.
It's a whole franchise. We didn't even mention it.
What's this Zelda thing?
We went Metroid and Mario, and there's some others.
There's some other ones you might have heard of.
Pokemon.
Oh, yeah, Pokemon. Exactly.
Damn.
But yeah, so the Switch, whilst, you're saving £200 there, the games, let's just say, are 50 quid each for some heavy hitters. Or you can buy farming games aplenty on the eShop.
What is it with every Nintendo Direct? We have like a drinking game now that we play when watching them. And if it's a medieval RPG style game or farming game, you have to drink.
Yes.
And I guarantee 90% of the games in it will be one of those two.
Absolutely.
Something medieval or something to do with farming or fishing.
Yeah, it's random, isn't it? I don't understand. But the eShop is filled with crap. Like
Medieval Harvest Tales.
That basically could be one. It probably is. But but they're rubbish, you know. There's so much rubbish. Whoever vetted the eShop like gateway to stop like bad games going on there got fired and they forgot to replace them.
Quick shout out to the Nintendo eShop for being a hot mess.
Oh, it is terrible.
It doesn't load properly.
Oh, the actual eShop
The page rendering's awful. And how do you find anything in there?
It's just like random. It's like Lucky Dip. You know when you would go to like those fates as a kid?
Stick your hand in.
Yeah, and there'll be like random presents wrapped up and you pay like 50p and you just stick your hand in.
One sock?
Yeah. It's that. That is Nintendo eShop.
An old raffle ticket. When's the raffle?
Yeah.
3 years ago.
Yeah. Past its sell-by date tin of beans.
Sour milk.
Yeah, exactly. An old cabbage. But yeah, so that's basically the eShop.
Dead cat.
Yeah, it sucks. But that really is the eShop. Like, it is just full of crap. Like, it really is. You should be able to filter like crap and then it just shows you like 20 good games, but unfortunately you can't. It's got like 10,000 games and they're all rubbish. But anyway, so you could probably spend 150 quid of your £200 left over on three, maybe four decent games.
Yes.
Like, AAA big hitters, Zelda, Mario, whatever, and then you've got 50 quid left to buy crap loads of farming games.
You can have a great time.
Yeah, have a really good time. So you could get some good games for the Switch.
Yeah.
But not 500 games like the Xbox.
So you're saying Xbox wins?
I don't know, because Xbox isn't portable. But you do, once you're subscribed to Game Pass, you can stream it to your phone.
I mean, you don't have to buy a £200 peripheral to do that?
No.
Oh, wait, you don't even have to on the PlayStation. You can just do that already.
They're selling it to you anyway.
When we were did we talk about this the other day when we were in the game store and I was pointing at the PlayStation Backbone controller?
And the guy went,
"That's not a Switch."
That's not a Switch.
I know it's not a Switch.
Yeah, man.
I was joking that for like 10 quid or whatever it was, you have the Backbone controller and that is basically the PlayStation Portal.
Should have given him the link to the podcast.
Yeah, don't know who I am. So you're saying... Wait. You're saying Xbox wins.
I'm not saying Xbox wins.
Because when we started this, before we hit record, you're like, I think I'm going to choose Steam Deck.
Yeah. Because to me, that's the natural winner because you can do everything on it.
Yeah.
And for me, I've always been a handheld lover.
It's the best value.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But
even again, is it compared to the Xbox? Because again, that Game Pass library is invaluable.
I think it's Game Pass that wins it.
Game Pass is what wins it because for
it's
10
not the
quid,
console, it's the service.
Yeah, but the console's got the beef and manpower behind it to be able to run it.
But so's the Series S.
Oh, true. Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
So are we saying the winner is an Xbox Series S that wasn't even in the list?
It's not in the list, but that wins.
It's the same. It's cheaper than an OLED.
Yeah. So you could get a Series S.
Wait, you could get a Series S and an OLED for under £500?
Oh my God.
And just win the game.
That's it. That's one.
You just won the game.
That's it. That is it.
So we just hacked our own game.
Yeah, we didn't even think of that. But you could actually
This whole hour's been pointless.
It has. Yeah, I'm just going to delete this whole episode. He's gone. He's off. Oh. But no, that is so true. Like, okay, I changed my mind because I was trying to decide between Xbox and Switch because for me, Switch, I can't help but have a handheld. I need a handheld.
Okay. Yeah.
Because a lot of the time, even if I'm at home, I'll just sit on the sofa and play handheld. Do you know what I mean? And that's great when someone else is doing something or if you're on the train or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Whatever you're doing. When I was in that traffic jam earlier, I could have been playing something illegally. Yeah. But do you know what I mean? I could have been, but I didn't. So for me, I'd struggle to choose against Switch. But absolutely, if I had a budget locked in at 500 quid, I would definitely buy a Series S, and a Switch.
And there you have it. What a perfect way to end. And I think in hacking our own show, we could put at the start of this a TLDR.
Yeah.
Don't listen to anything we say. We actually realised we made a big mistake by the end of this. So
I've not put that at the beginning.
So screw your PlayStation 5, your Series X. They're a waste of money. Get the cheapest version Xbox and a Switch OLED that's almost 20 years old.
Yeah, basically. To be fair, you could probably just get the Switch Lite. At that point, save a bit more money. Have another 100 quid towards games.
Jesus. This has turned really controversial.
Crazy, isn't it? Yeah.
If you like more controversial craziness, then click on one of these videos here, and there'll be more of us doing stuff, and then Andy doing stuff. Don't bother, he's boring. He just talks about Switch all the time.
Yeah.
So I guess that about wraps up for this week.
Yeah.
If you're listening on podcast, make sure you rate us because that massively helps us out.
Yes.
And if you're on YouTube, buttons are below.
Oh, yeah.
Till next time, we'll see you next time.
Bye.